The first shot cracked the air like the sky splitting. It didn't come from the ridge where the enemy had been shadowing them all morning, and it didn't come from the village behind them either. It came from nowhere the Rangers could see. 1 second, the kill zone was tightening, dust popping at their boots, PKM fire chewing the rocks, and the next second, the machine gun pinning Alpha Team went silent, the gunner slumping forward as if the mountain itself had tapped him on the shoulder. Sergeant Matt Cole barely had time to register the change before a second crack echoed, sharper, cleaner. Another muzzle went dark. For the first time in 10 minutes, the valley breathed. They had walked straight into it, a narrow saddle between two shale ridges, a dried riverbed curling like a scar through the middle. 12 Rangers, moving light and fast, chasing a signal that had gone dead hours ago. The ambush was textbook, overlapping fields of fire, elevation, patience. They'd hit the dirt hard, returned fire, tried to peel out. It wasn't working. Ammunition was dropping. Comms were full of clipped voices and grit. Then the shots came, one by one, perfectly spaced, perfectly final. The enemy didn't know what was killing them, only the death had found them without warning. Cole risked a look through his ACOG, scanning the ridge lines. Nothing. No glint, no movement, no silhouette. The rounds weren't coming from the high ground they'd marked. They were coming from farther, much farther, angles that didn't make sense. A man on the far left of the ambush jerked backward, helmet snapping, body folding like a bad thought. Another dropped his RPG, hands opening in surprise before gravity took over. The fire slackened, then it broke. Fighters scattered, some crawling, some running, all of them suddenly desperate to be anywhere else. "Who the hell is shooting?" someone yelled over the net. No answer came, only another crack and another body down. The Rangers used the opening like professionals. Smoke bloomed, white and choking, and they bounded out of the kill zone in pairs, dragging wounded, covering each other, moving fast. By the time they reached the defilade behind the western ridge, the valley was quiet except for the wind and the ringing in their ears. Cole took a knee, chest heaving, and did a head count with his eyes and hands. 12 in, 12 out, 2 wounded, both breathing. He let himself exhale. Still, the question hung there, heavy and unavoidable. Who saved them? They waited for contact, a call sign, anything. Nothing came. The radio stayed clear, as if the mountain had swallowed the shots whole. When they pushed back to the edge to assess, they found the aftermath unsettling in its precision. 8 enemy fighters down, all clean hits, most through the head or upper chest. No wasted rounds, no panic fire, just clinical, deliberate removal. Cole followed the angles again, pacing it out, tracing invisible lines across the valley until his head hurt. Whoever it was had been shooting from beyond a kilometer, maybe more, from terrain no one would have picked as a firing position, and they'd done it without ever being seen. It wasn't until exfil that they heard a whisper of an answer. The bird was late, orbiting high, and the JTAC leaned in close to Cole, voice low. "You guys had an overwatch element you weren't tracking, joint tasking, off the books." Cole frowned. "Who?" The JTAC shrugged. "Only thing I heard on the stack was a single voice, calm as a Sunday morning, took the shots, said targets neutral, then went dark." "Name?" The JTAC shrugged, didn't give one. Weeks later, back behind wire, the story refused to settle. The Rangers replayed it in the gym, in the chow hall, in the quiet moments before sleep. Someone started calling the unseen shooter Ghost. Someone else said Angel. The official report was clean and bloodless, all coordinates and timelines, no room for wonder. Still, the question kept circling. Who is she? It slipped out first as a joke, then as a conviction. The shots had been too patient, too measured. There was something in the cadence that felt different. No one could explain it better than that. The answer came by accident. Cole was walking past the range one afternoon when he heard the crack again. Same sound, same economy. He stopped, watched the targets at extreme distance fold under precise hits. The shooter lay prone, face hidden under a boonie hat, hair tucked away, body still as a held breath. A navy patch caught the light when she shifted to reload. Seal trident. No one else around her, no spotter I could see. She worked the bolt like it was part of her hand. When she finally stood, slinging the rifle with casual care, Cole felt the moment settle into place. She wasn't tall, she wasn't loud. She moved like someone who had learned long ago that the best place to be was where no one looked. He didn't approach, didn't need to. Some truths were better left intact. Later, through the quiet channels where stories travel, he learned fragments. She'd grown up in wide spaces, learned to shoot before she learned to drive. She had a reputation for making impossible shots boring, for disappearing after missions like smoke and wind, for never posing for photos, the kind of operator commanders asked for when there was no margin left and no applause waiting at the end. On the anniversary of the ambush, Cole took his team back to the range. He set steel far out, farther than comfortable. Wind was up, light was bad. One by one, the Rangers missed or clipped edges, adjusting, learning. Then Cole lay down, steadied his breathing, and sent a round. The steel rang, faint but true. He smiled beside himself. Somewhere out there, unseen, someone had once done the same thing for them, had lain in the dirt and decided that 12 strangers would live. They never saw her in that valley, never heard her voice on the radio, but every time the story is told, it ends the same way. 12 Rangers walked into a kill zone and walked out alive. And the name they never learned has become a question they carry with respect. Who is she? She's the reason they came home.